if it's a listing and it comes out of my sphere, whether we have 18 to 20 different lead sources. We can talk about lead sources a little bit today too. I'm here to give you guys as much value as I can and unpack whatever makes sense. But if it comes from the team, the lead comes from me or the team, and I'm the team, and all those lead sources are part of that $50K a month budget that I shared with you. That's a team lead. If it's a listing and I put one of my team on it, whether they're experienced or not, it's a 75-25 split. I will gift, or I call gift, some people say give, I call it gift them, 25% to treat that listing as if it's their own. That means they do the open houses, they'll take the buyers. It goes back to what I talked about outside when I said you take your annual pay divided by 52 divided by 40, you know what your hourly rate is. At a certain point, this is not ego, this is just numbers, business, return on investment. Does it make sense for me to leave my office, drive for 25 to 30 minutes to a listing, to open the door for one of those 93 agents that are not in the top 7%, to go through the mediocrity of those agents, to open the door for them, spend a half hour or 20 minutes, and then spend another half hour to get back to my office where I can actually do some good. So the answer is, if they're on my listing, I'm not opening up for an agent. They are. If I do an open house, I may go there because if I'm more confident that I can out-convert them, I might show. If I feel I need to teach them how to convert further, I might go. If I made any kind of commitment to the seller in my listing presentation, I might go. But most of the time, I don't see a need for me to go to the open house if I have qualified people that I trusted and trained to do their job. Can I do it better than them? In my opinion, most of the time. But that's not how I'm going to build the other 30 leads that I need to give them to keep them in a lead flow. So I gift on a listing lead 25% no matter what. For an agent that is on my team and has done more than 5 deals with us, and they bring in their own listing, all things being equal, they get the 75 and the team gets 25. But I don't expect to deal with it except to negotiate it. And when it's listed, I will be the listing agent and she will be the co. Because all of our programs are about the team and the team branding. And if you get on the phone with most of my team, in case they've changed it, their voice will be Team Paley, powered by Keller Williams. It will not just be about them, it'll be about the team and leveraging the team. I don't know how many Google reviews we have. I think it's, 100, 105 or whatever. We have testimonial after testimonial. I have a woman that called up the other day, got me on the phone and said, I'd like you to come out and list my home. How did you hear about me? She said, what are you talking about? I did my research. I saw your reviews. I saw your marketing. I'm only going with the best. We just listed her on Monday. And she wrote us a 5-star Google review already based on her experience with us. Because when my team is done taking a listing, my agents are out if they've done the right job. If they've gotten the C of O, the deed, if they've gotten every one of the details that the homeowner is going to call up and say, you forgot about the fact that I have the nicest arborvitae's on the block, or I'm 2 inches closer to the school bus, we're going to have to adjust the detail sheet. But at the point in time that they've done their job, they turn that over to my marketing department, and my marketing department goes back to added value. My marketing department gets on the phone. Hi, welcome to Team Paley. I'm the one that's going to be organizing your staging. I'm the one that's going to be organizing your photos, your drone. I'm your videographer. I'm looking forward to working with you. And when she's done with the package, she will submit it to them for review and coordinate with them. They get a customer experience that we think is different than anybody else. So, again, value proposition. If you build the value, people will see it. So, the importance of leveraging the team. I had a company call me up. They want me to join their organization. It's a $90 sign-up fee. It's a referring network. And I told you already that we 35-40% of our business on agent-to-agent referrals. So this company went out and gets agents to join. Now normally, we have paid resources, we have not for paid resources, pay up front, pay behind. Like I said, we have 18 to 20 lead sources. This one called me up, and I said to her, well, I'll just let you know, what do you charge? Fill me in on the program, because we're the #1 Keller Williams team on Long Island and Queens. We do 90 million. We're multilingual, multi-generational, multicultural. We speak 10 to 12 languages. And she said, why do you think I'm calling you? I got your stats from Trends List. Those are the type of people that we want on the network. We charge a sign-up fee, and after that, there's no fee. I have a call with the guy at 4 o'clock because I don't believe it. So I'll go through those measures. But when I get on my call with Monday, and I'm talking to my team, I'm going to relay that story to them because I want them to know I'm the bird that's going out, getting the food, chewing it up, and bringing it back to the nest. And that's the value proposition. That and all of the services that we supply. So our team ICA is not convoluted, but it depends on whether or not you're a new agent, an advanced agent, but generally speaking, there is no transaction where the team won't take a minimum of 25%. That's our least involved transaction. Now, a new agent, she went on a rental deal. You know, her take was $1,200. Keller Williams is going to subtract their 30%. In that particular case, she's new. She was a sewing agent. She was spending money on gas. Am I taking her money? No, but we reserve the right to make an exception, but we put the rule out there so that we don't have to be worried about it. But team splits are very different, in very many places. So you have to kind of take a look at it. I would say, to go by the MREA, I came over from another organization where I already polluted some of my people. If I could turn everything around, I have relationships that I would never give up on, people that I would never give up on, but I would recruit all the new agents I can and start them off right. So no excuse for that. Let's go. Any hands up on anything that anybody wants to talk specifically about? Okay.
Lead genning services?
Good, yeah. I can send a list to Lydia of ours. I'll mention a few. We do have some lender-supported ones, so I hate to admit it. If you tell me or ask me, I'll probably deny it. But we still do a little bit of business with Zillow, minimal. Our entire spend with Zillow is probably under $2,000 a month, and my lender pays for half. Ojo, if you guys are not on Ojo, you should be on Ojo, especially newbies. They're an up-and-coming lead source. They're great. Next door, Z-Buyer. There are several of them. I could give you a comprehensive list. Most of the lead sources that I'm also Dave Ramsey certified. So I spent the $3,000 on training, actually, in all honesty, my lender did, put me through the training, because he's the lender on every Dave Ramsey lead that comes through. Cost me $250 or $300 a month, but we get leads from them. They take Dave Ramsey. Do you know Dave Ramsey? Anybody know? If you don't, Google him. He's good to know about. He is the king of debt-free, him and Susie Ormond. But Dave Ramsey leads are very difficult. He also exacts a monthly fee and a 35% referral.
Yeah.
Keller, Ramsey?
Just Ramsey
Dave
alone.
Just Ramsey.
And then I have to split with Keller. Now, 72 sold. I don't know if
Yes.
anybody here is doing it or how you're finding it. Jury's out for me. We're involved, but mixed reviews.
Do you like it?
Mixed review. I would say to you that I was doing those principles before 72 sold in respect to pricing at or below market value to create multiple offers on a timely basis. That to me is not earth-shattering or new. I think that they're a work in progress. That being said, we took a 72 sold because we're so prominent at what we do in the food chain, and I'm not going to mention names, but a regional who was heavily seated in 72 sold, if he got leads that he thinks look like, smell like, or near me, he sends them to us. We give him 50% of that lead. He pays 72 sold. He keeps 25. We keep 50. We took a $1.2 million listing in Brooklyn that we wound up on both sides of the deal with. Our share was $12,000 on the list side and $24,000 on the sales side. Did that work out for me? Yeah. Is the jury still out? Yeah. I don't necessarily believe in the way they do it. I believe in fine-tuning it. I don't necessarily think it's an investment that should be looked at versus other spends. So I think you have to analyze your budget and decide where you want to spend that money. But it is something that works. I don't know if any of you have done bold or taking bold, but I'm a firm believer in it. I'm also a firm believer in harvesting information from the KW ecosystem. The reason that I came to KW was not just to be an investor owner, which I'm an investor owner in 3 market centers. It wasn't just because of the high splits, and it wasn't just because of profit sharing. It was to be connected with 180,000 agents who are potential clients that can give me business on an agent-to-agent basis, and forgetting the fact that I've developed the status that they'll want to give it to me versus someone else. I mastermind with those people. I work heavily in Queens, but I'm in culture, and I happen to have a vested interest in this market center where I want to see everybody thrive and do well. So I'm here to share whatever secret sauce I have, whether it's competing with you guys, because we're here. We have 12 to 15 sponsor buildings that we work with in Forest Hills and Kew Gardens. If anybody ever needs sponsor units, we have them. We do a lot in all throughout Queens in single family, 2 families. But the idea is that I can do business anywhere on the planet. So I have referral partners all over the country. But beyond that, while I'm on Facebook and foraging for that stuff, and I happen to sit in Gary's top 200. So of the 180,000 unit agents, I sit with Gary once a month in his mastermind. So I'm getting the information right from the source. And I share that down with my team, another value proposition. And so when I'm on that, and I see top 7 tactics for winning expired real estate listings, those are all on files all over Facebook with agents that are not in my backyard, that I'm not competing with. So if I say to somebody, I'd like to see your ICA agreement, let me see what your definition is in your job description for a director of ops, all of that information is available to me. It's available to you. We have an amazing ecosystem if you plug your way into it. I'm huge on recruiting, so there's a recruiting program. I have a recruiting coach as well as a MAPS coach. So again, if you plug into what we are, number one in technology, number one in training, number one in coaching, number one in all of this knowledge, and you plug into that and you are learning based, and look at yourself as a CEO in your own business. And if you haven't seen any of the webinars, at least see Gary's Keller's Think Like a CEO. There's all that knowledge out there that you can, avail yourself of. Beyond that, additional listening sources, like I said, I can send you a list. But those are also developed through my experience, and as you grow in the food chain, they will come to you versus having to seek them out. Or hook yourself up with a team that can bring that to the table, whatever it is. I want to give you another piece, and we can share this with you. So I have a friend of mine used to represent, I don't know if anybody ever heard of Charles Wang, but he used to own Computer Associates. He owned half of Plainview, Long Island, New York, and a good part of Oyster Bay, and was very heavy in commercial and residential real estate. I represented him on most of his residential real estate transactions pre-coming to Keller. But the guy that represented him on the commercial was always a friend of mine that we had relationships with. And he calls me up one day and he says, I'm going to move to the Carolinas. He was no longer with them. And I want to put my house on the market. Will you put it up on MLS for me? You guys know about Click It or any of these other companies. They come by, they'll take a for sale by owner, charge them $500 or $1,000, take the photos or not take the photos, take their photos, put them on MLS. So now they have their edge up on the realtor. They're on MLS. We all know that 84 or 90% of all FSBOs eventually go back to an agent. But I said, Terry, are you crazy? Yeah, I can do you a favor. And my office was in Woodbury. I had an office that I could use in Setauket. He was in East Setauket. And I said to him, Terry, you can't outmarket me. You can't build the content that I can build for you with my videographer and my team. You can't touch me on distribution. MLS is one thing. I have an office in Manhattan. I'm an agent in Manhattan. I have every Manhattan agent's address. I'm going to build a website for your home. I'm going to put all your assets on that website, including the drone photography, maps, local pictures of the Port Jefferson trolley and ferry and train station and the restaurants. I'm gonna build you a listing. You can't do that. I'm gonna put it on my website during the pandemic that said Escape to Long Island. We opened a website, Escape to Long Island. I will take all of that URL information, I'm gonna put it in an email, I'm gonna send it out to every agent in Rebney, in Manhattan, the MLS of Queens, Long Island, One Key. You can't touch my distribution. I'll tell you what, Terry, I don't want to schlep out to show your house to agents. You're a licensed agent? I'll put you on. I'm going to put it on at 4%. I'm going to give 2% to an agent that brings a buyer. If I'm on both sides, I'm taking 3, but I'll do all that for you because you're my friend for 1%. And you show your own home. We created and dominoed that. So for every FISBO that I run into, we have something called, that's why I wanted to explain it. It's called the best of both worlds. Team Paley, for sale by owner with agent support. You want to get your door in a FISBO, tell them you want, do you guys know what a mofer is? How many of you?
Mofo?
How many of you know what a mofer is?
Mofer, nah.
Okay, so mofer is a key word. I gotta assume that most of you have not been to mega camp or family reunion. But
Damn.
if you are following Gary Keller, a mofer is making offer for immediate response. Making an offer for an immediate response. Hey, for sale by homeowner, I'll sell your house for 1%. I'll do the marketing, I'll do the distribution. Would you like to take a look at my program? That's a mofer. That's a mofer.
You said marketing?
Marketing, distribution. Now, do I really want him showing it? At the time, I was in Woodbury, and Setauket was a 45, 50-minute ride. Did I know that Terry was a savvy real estate guy and know how to show his home? Yeah. Would I want it in the hands of your average for sale by owner? No. Can I get myself in the door and then show them what I do for 5%? Yeah. That's up to me to go ahead then, take it to the next level, and upsell them. How
In how
many?
long?
Huh?
In how long?
In how long?
Yeah, no, in how long would you do the transaction between the 1% offer and then upsell to the, let's say, the 5%?
At the same meeting. Because I'm going to establish my credibility on it. And by the way, my listing presentation doesn't start when I sit at the kitchen table. It starts when I walk through the door and I ask them to show me around the house. Because I'm looking for that hook while I'm talking to them. And what I'm doing is walking through the house, doing the analysis that you want me to do afterwards for free. And I'm evaluating what needs to be done. I noticed that ceiling tile is water stained. I'm sure you probably don't have an active leak, but I'm also pretty sure that when I bring a buyer to your home, they're gonna assume it is. Have you thought about having that ceiling tile changed? Because I would. Right?
Minor expenses, they change a lot.
Yeah. Not only that, I'm now looking through and I see the photographs of their kids at Disney. Love Disney. Took my kids there in an RV. Now having a conversation about Disney. It's about relationship building. So I'm organically, generically delivering my listing presentation while I'm walking through the house, long before I get to the kitchen table. And when I sit down at the kitchen table and I have my paperwork with me, I have a pen in my hand all the time. Usually it's in my mouth. And the reason I do is that after that whole listing presentation, and I say, are you ready to sign? I haven't made that dreaded reach into my pocket to pull out the pen that they're going to sign it with. They've been seeing it all the time. The pen was in my hand. There's no finality to that now. The pen's been out. There's no threat to signing the agreement with the pen because the pen's been there. In the meantime, it just makes them think I'm tactical or Italian, and I'm neither. Well, I'm tactical. So that listing presentation, I will have done that conversion while I'm with them, because when I sit down with them, I can tell them all of the things that we bring to a listing that other people don't, including running title on their home, including bringing an expediter to their home, including pre-listing inspections. There's so much value that we unpack and that we present that would be highly unusual. I mean, there's plenty that I don't get, guys. I mean, I'm not saying I get everything, but there's plenty that we don't get. Lead sources, open houses. You gotta be converting. You gotta take those sign-in sheets. You gotta put them into your CRM, Command, Boomtown, whatever you're working with. And drip campaign. You know, those are gold. Networking events. I don't have to tell you guys. We talked about lead generating, so we'll come back to that. But the FSBO one is a great way. I mean, if you work FSBOs and expireds. What is an expired listing? Someone that wants to sell their home that couldn't get the job done. Duh. Let's go. Dude, I can get that job done. You were unsuccessful. There's a reason. You had the wrong agent, the wrong price, or the wrong marketing. We have a lead source that works with for sale by owners. All this lead source does is take the photos or take their photos and puts them up for MLS. He is the antichrist to a real estate agent, right? He's taking money out of our pocket. He came to me and he said to me, by the way, I know who you are. I saw what you did, right? I see what you do. When I take these for sale by owners, I tell them if they haven't sold their home in 18 days in today's market, I can give them a realtor who will help them with that and get them sold. And because he has the listing and he's the listing agent, I get those leads the minute they go on, and I get a notification on the 18th day that they're going to expire. And on that day, we're out there calling them up and saying, because why? I'm not trumping another man's listing that hasn't given me permission to do it. And I call them up and I say, I see you're about to expire. You've been on the market for 17 days. As part of blank blank realty, we will do a custom analyzation of your listing, your marketing, your pricing, your days on market, and we'll let you know why you're not selling. I have not pitched them for the listing. But I will give you this analysis to let you know why you're not selling. And then we call them back and we tell them, this is what's wrong, this is where you should be. Here's an example of what we do as professional marketing, which you're nowhere near. And if you like, we'd be more than happy to list your home. And the other thing we have is called a for sale by owner home kit, help kit. And it lists the 99 things that you need to do as a for sale by owner or as a realtor to position a house for sale. And number 100 says, do steps 1 through 99. Step 100 says, or hire me, and I will take care of 1 through 99. So if you market FSBOs and expireds, think outside the box and do it in a way where you have a hook that's original. Make a mofer, make a pitch, add value. So you're not just another person getting on the phone scripting. So lead generating FSBOs expires.
What do you call that?
Which one?
The one that says 99.
Oh, for sale by FSBO kit for sale for sale by owner help kit.
Okay.
Yeah, I can send it to you. Just make a note of what you want. I'm happy to help you guys.
Okay.
We mentioned Dave Ramsey. We mentioned a CRM. I don't know if you guys are doing ads or Google ads through Boomtown or a CRM of any kind, but we do that. Home Captain. I don't know if you know of Home Captain. That's another lead source. Likely AI. If you're a techie and you believe in artificial intelligence, Likely AI is somebody that you could look to. Referral Exchange, Referral Cloud. Obviously, your database is and should be the number one source for your referrals. And you should be tagging that database. Don't make the mistake I made. 18 years before I came to, I came to Keller in 2018. So what is that? 5 years, going on 6. In the years before I did that, everything was on Outlook, but I didn't have a database that I mined. And I have to go back now when I'm going into another new CRM and tag 30,000 names, which is going to be that of a chore. But from the time we started Boomtown, everything's been more memorialized for the last 2.5 years. Every past buyer, past seller, open house client that got entered into Boomtown is there. I can export a CSV file, give it to my integrator, put it into a CRM, and set up a 36 drip campaign for all of these people. And the information I don't have, I can send out by creating a jot form and being able to develop that jot form. So those are just some of them. Obviously, there are paid ones for sphere of influence, social media, Zillow. Those are just some of those resources. But between social media, your CRM, your database, FSBOs, expired, open house leads, lead generation is only a question of whether or not you're doing it, not whether or not it works. If you put in your calendar 9 to 11, and outside of a 911 call, you do lead generating for 2 hours, and you get on the phone and call, you're going to lead generate, and you're going to get results. You're going to get referrals, you're going to get appointments, and if you're not, then you're not in the real estate business. Really simple. If you're not people talking to people about real estate, you're not in the real estate business. I had an epiphany the first time I read the MREA, which was admittedly not until at least my second year. And I was what is called a passive lead generator. I expected that I would get X amount from my sphere, X amount of listings, etc. Now my lead generation is at a completely different level. It's more on an organic corporate level than it is on an individual level, and I'm teaching everybody that is on my team how to do it individually, and how to lead generate. So I'm lead generating through the ecosystem of KW, and that's part of where I lead gen from. That's in addition to my database, sphere of influence, and referral base. So as many sources as you can put attention to, but try starting with one or two. Make that your one thing. If you haven't read that book, I recommend you read that book. But that's basically addressing lead gen. So I don't know if there's any other questions. I'm happy to open up to anything that anybody has. Let me see if I hit my cliff notes.
Question.
Yeah.
When you go to physical and physical by owner and you try to get the listing and they are like, I'm not gonna give you the exclusive right to sell, but I just wanna give you probably like an agency, yeah, like where if I find my buyer, I'm not gonna pay a commission.
Yeah. So
What's gonna happen? What do
You mean, what's the
how do you react?
dialogue?
How do you react?
what's the dialogue, right?
Yeah.
So the dialogue is this. I don't sell homes, so I can't sell your house. I cause them to be sold. And the way that I cause them to be sold is by marketing them. Now, you can't outmarket me as a for sale by owner. You can't out distribution me. And if you would like to see my level of marketing, if you'd like me to show you what I do versus what you do, would you agree with me that the more eyes that see your property, the more offers you'll get, the better offers you'll get, and then we can leverage those offers. I don't take or sit down at a card game that I'm not staked to play, and I don't get involved in business deals where my odds of winning are narrow. And you shouldn't either. And by remaining as a for sale by owner, you're narrowing your odds. And by going with me, you're making them exponential. Where would you like to be in 30 days from now? At a closing table, or talking to another 20 agents like me that you're afraid to pay to do a job where I'm going to earn the money that you're going to pay me? Because it's been proven that I will put more money in your pocket than you will ever get as a for sale by owner. And until your house is in the open market at play, you have no idea what the value of the house is. I don't care what you think. Because I'm getting people 100, 40, 50, 200,000 over ask. I put a house on the market in Bayside. On 25th, you could throw a tennis ball to the shopping center. And we put it on for $1.2 million. And we're closing at $1.35 million. We had a bidding war on the home.
It's like 10% more.
Yeah, it goes back to if you don't know your value, you can't share your value. If you're not comfortable sharing your value, you're creating yourself a limitation. And so you need to burst out of that, and you need to own what you own. So when you own your game, you can play your game. As a matter of fact, it's funny, but the table of contents, I'm just looking at it now, our story, which we told you, our pitch deck, a little bit about us. I didn't bring it, our areas of concentration. Needless to say, if you guys ever need referral partners on Long Island, I know Queens you can handle your own, but if you ever need anybody on Long Island,
I do.
we're available. We're
You
available.
guys, you take care of Lloyd Harbor.
Yes, we do. Yeah,
Hopefully we can
yeah,
talk.
I'd love to. We have one coming up there now. And we're also the only really luxury team on Long Island. And even in the other market centers, nobody does as much luxury as we do. It was the independent contractors agreement, which I'm more than happy to show you guys if you're interested. Showing agents program, the VIP loyalty program, competitive advantages, which I showed you, FISBO with agent support, lead generation sources, one other program which I'll share with you guys. And the last thing says, know your game, play your game, choose your game. I kind of forgot about it. That came out organically too. Why? Because I own it. But that's on the table of contents. The other thing that I get a kick out of, we did this at a firm that I belong to. It's a little tricky with churches, but if you have ins, we did this, pitched it to Northwell Health. We pitched it to Arizona Iced Tea, big companies. Cash back the next time you buy or sell your home. You go to somebody who has a position in a human resource department. I'll pass this around so you can take a fast look at it. But we offer them cash back at closing. When you get into a situation like a church, they probably have 18, 20 realtors in there. So as much as you might be able to offer to them, it's going to be hard for them, most likely, to sell it to the congregation. So it has to be someone that has a human resource department where this makes sense. But this is something that we have done with a couple of programs. And of course, it brings in multiple buyers and multiple sellers. Excuse me 1 second. It's not a 911, but it's the wife. In this case, yeah.
Who would have think?
Believe it or not, I think I gotta stick another quarter in that machine. So I asked a workman for a quote on redoing my backsplash and putting up tiles in the basement ceiling. So he came over with the tiles and he gave me a quote, and I said, I'll definitely get back to you. And that was my wife saying, they're ready to take the tiles off the... No, man, I don't even know what tile I'm using yet.
All right, I have two questions for you. One, I don't know what unit sponsoring is.
What is?
I think you said unit sponsoring or sponsoring unit.
Oh, sponsor units. So when you go to a co-op, there's a board.
Yeah.
And the seller has to get approved, their buyer, through the board.
Okay.
We own listings for the sponsors that own that building. And a sponsor unit means they do not have to go for board approval.
How can we get those lists?
Yeah, right?
That sounds good.
Yeah, so just reach out to me. We'll send you all of our listings.
I just got an offer for a co-op now. I'm trying to let them know that.
Now, the owners themselves have some, I mean, it's not the way to get Sid Vicious into the place, but as long as they've got reasonable credit, there are things that a normal person would have to do to get approved by the board that they do not have to get done by the sponsor. I don't know what their restrictions are. I have one of my guys that just handles that part of the business for me.
Okay.
He also handles 72 sold for me.
Right. Second.
But,
No, please.
yeah,
That's it?
that's it on that.
Second question. I'm a gentleman, go ahead.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I have a question about the sponsor units, like in Forest Hills, 2 gardens. Do you have any 1 bedrooms?
I don't know what the inventory looks like because I don't deal with it on a day-to-day basis. But I know normally we have studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms. We also have them in Mineola. If you know anybody that's, looking for something that they want to get out of the burbs or the boroughs, and they want to get out to the burbs, we have buildings that we do that in Mineola with as well.
You were saying, just for me, because I deal with this very well a lot. How do you leverage your networking events? How do you particularly?
So you have two different words in there. So there's networking,
Yeah.
there's networking events,
Okay.
and then there are events for networking,
Okay.
semantically. So the people that do bowling parties or get food trucks to a place and host it, those are what I call events that people do. If you're not part of a networking group, I highly recommend that you belong to one, whether it's BNI or LaTip or any of the numerous ones. What do you do in those groups? You're meeting with people, generally 25 to 50 of them, who are looking for referrals for plumbing, exterminating. They build your resources, and they're 25 to 50 of your salesmen that are supposed to let you know whether or not they have a buyer or seller lead. So those are networking groups. Networking, to me, is anything that I do that I'm talking about real estate with people. Today I'm networking. I have an agenda. My agenda is to help this market center and the people in it prosper and grow, to be in culture, to share, and I have a possible referral in Lloyd Harbor, and a possible
Sponsor apartment.
right. Why? Because people talking to people about real estate. You can network in your sleep if your spouse will listen. But the name of the game is be networking. Be talking real estate with anybody and everybody you know. We have bowled, so one of the girls, bowled is 100 people in a week, right? You're supposed to talk to. I know somebody that went to a supermarket, took 100 of her business cards, and gave them out in the better part of 2-3 hours at a supermarket to achieve her 100 bowled. It kind of doesn't matter what you do. It matters if you do it and if you do it consistently. So you gotta be living, breathing, eating, you figure out the last one, real estate. And if you are, it'll come back to you.
Did it work?
Does it work? The Bold 100? The supermarket thing?
yeah.
Yeah, whoever got it got some.
So I wanted to add to that.
Yeah.
So 4th of July weekends, well, this is my niece Ally, she's on my team.
Hi.
So, 4th of July weekend, I went and stood in front of Stop and Shop with American flags and my business card attached, and I gave out about 350 of them. The next day, a guy called me and said, I'd like to list my house with you.
There you go.
So it works.
It works.
Yeah.
Everything works if you do it. What doesn't work is if you don't work, it doesn't work. It's a thankful and a thankless business because it's an emotional roller coaster. It will sap up all of your time that you allow it to, but it's one of the only businesses on the planet. You don't have an inventory, you don't have a cost, and you have unlimited upside. It's what you make of it.
Well, I'm also doing the local feast
Yeah.
church, so Ally and I and Pete actually helped.
Great.
So I set up a tent last night,
Right.
and, on the hand sanitizing station and the realtor, and, I had my big sign out there, and people like recognized me. I do have competition there,
Right.
but, I'm raffling something off, and I'm getting leads. The other realtor that's there is just putting on a big show with a 360 photo booth. She's not capturing any leads, she's giving out stuff, but she's not getting people.
Yeah.
So I said, it's a lot of work, put up the tent, put up the table, take it down every night. I'm exhausted, so, but it'll be worth it at the end, because I'm gonna be getting a lot of leads from it, so all of those kind of things work.
It's just a question of thinking outside the box and working.
Mhm.
And it works if you work. If you work. Anyway, I hope I added some value.
Thank you.
Pleasure. And